Vietnam's unprecedented campaign against corruption has cast a pall over the country's startup scene, investors say, indicating gloom has spread beyond the property and banking industries most affected by recent criminal sentences linked to graft. Venture capitalists expressed concern about the crackdown's impact on macroeconomic sentiment, adding to a funding winter already being felt across Southeast Asia's technology industry. In the past 2 years, the clampdown has included the dismissals of 2 presidents and a top lawmaker, as well as stock exchange and regulatory officials in Vietnam, usually a stable one-party state. There have been regulatory hurdles because of human resource changes, said Do Ventures co-founder V.Y. Le. Her venture fund released a report with the government's National Innovation Center last month as showing Vietnam's venture capital funding dropped 17% in 2023 from the previous year, though that was less drastic than the 35% fall globally. Around the world, a slow pandemic recovery and rising interest rates have made it harder for tech companies to attract capital. Southeast Asia startups raised $1 billion in equity funding last quarter, the lowest level in 5 years, Deal Street Asia data shows. For Vietnam, the challenges are compounded by the slow recovery's impact on factory exports, as well as the uncertainty surrounding efforts to stamp out graft. We worry about it because our investors worry about it, Bin Tran, general partner at venture fund AVV, said of the clampdown's hit to the macroeconomic environment. Beyond tech, foreign investors have focused on the crackdown's impact on 2 areas. The first is approvals for business permits, as bureaucrats are reluctant to make mistakes, or perceived mistakes, on this front. The second is industries exposed to corruption cases. Vietnam sentenced a real estate executive to death last month for allegedly bilking her affiliate bank out of a record $12.5 billion. For that reason, property tech is one segment that may be vulnerable, Tran said in an interview. Southeast Asia's startups skew toward consumer services. Consumption is an area to watch, though Vietnam's crackdown is unlikely to affect most companies. Le said what would really help the tech landscape, she said, would be more options for exits, or ways for backers to cash in on their investments. Vietnam's small stock market and strict rules have attracted fewer initial public offerings than many of its neighbors. However, the international backdrop hasn't been much better during the current funding winter. As investors pull back all over the globe, tech companies have also been hesitating to carry out IPOs at lower valuations than hoped, with game maker VNG, Vietnam's first unicorn, scrapping its Nasdaq listing at the 11th hour last year, for instance. But once markets warm up again, tech companies could see change in Vietnam. The joint NIC Do Ventures report cites richer peers Indonesia, Thailand, Singapore, and Malaysia as possible models with easier policies for startups to float shares. On Indonesia's stock exchange, for example, both the listing fee and the share price minimum are lower for small companies.